Roadworks. I hate roadworks. Roadworks meant I didn't have time to write something for Only in Speedway. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. I literally arrived.
You, actually, that was...
Oh, thank you. I literally arrived at the studio about 30 seconds to go, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, normally it's 35.
Mm-hmm.
I know, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you done well. You done well. You done well.
There you go. How are we all, gentlemen?
All good.
We're
all
okay,
good.
just getting ready to chew the fat over what's been a bit of a busy week for Speedway. Not all of it great, I don't think.
Not a lot of it great.
In fact, most of it not great.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the demise and some more information about Newcastle.
Yep.
We've got the sort of... The thing that fans have been asking for a long time is for clubs to be honest about levels of audiences and so on. And Birmingham have come out this week with a good piece in the Speedway Star. Well, I say a good piece, a frightening piece, I think.
Yeah. But a refreshingly honest piece.
Very honest, yeah. Obviously, problems at Sheffield, which is not good given that it was on to box.
Yep.
But Wolves won.
Wolves won, yep.
So, yeah, it's all bad. When Chris finishes doing his little dance...
Doing all the work, as usual.
Yeah. He'll let you know how you can all join in tonight.
Okay, so we're on all good
Wow.
Speedway pages on Facebook.
You need a new dentist.
Groups. I do, yeah. I need a dentist. We're also on YouTube Live. And don't forget, you can follow us from Tuesday midday. You can catch up on Apple, Spotify, Google, Acast, Anchor, and all good podcast platforms. There you go.
Yeah, and we say this in the forlorn hope that somebody out there one day will want to give us a call. We have a telephone number on. Yeah,
people can contact us on WhatsApp on 0777 911 7082, or just on the comments you can click on the message tab. So if you message me and say, I'd like to call in, I'll give you all the full details.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Would love to. Okay, I guess we should start with we've both been to a couple of meetings this last week.
Yep. Let's start off with the positive first of all. That was Birmingham's win against Redcar on
Am I right in saying that I predicted that score right? Did I say a 10-point win? I can't remember.
No, I don't think you did actually.
I don't think you did.
Did anybody say
you
a
did
10-point
Birmingham win? I think a few people did predict a Birmingham win. In fairness, I did as well, and obviously our friend over there did. So, but
over here.
Yeah. He said friend.
But I have to say, it was a very, very good performance from Birmingham. Easily the best performance of the season. Very good meeting as well. I thought there was some cracking racing. And I think it was a result that Birmingham desperately needed, and I think that hopefully that will put a bit of confidence back into the side. I
would disagree with you on one point. I would say it's the second best performance this season, because I think the performance at Oxford probably outdid that, given that it was an away match.
Probably. I'll rephrase that. The best performance at Peterborough, I would say.
Yeah.
Without doubt, yeah.
For a couple of years.
against a very, very good side.
Yeah. A side who we desperately wanted to beat, of course, because of all the shenanigans that occurred last week.
I think that's sort of in the past, though, isn't it? I think we'll probably move on from that, to be honest. So.
No.
Fair enough.
Well, some people will, but I mean, it did feel sweet to beat them, not easily, but comprehensively,
fairly and squarely. I think. I don't think Redcar really could have had many complaints. They certainly contributed to a very good meeting.
Absolutely, it was a great meeting. Some good overtakes, and the track's starting to sort of bed in a little bit now.
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, the one thing I was pleased about was for Birmingham's point of view, was that 5-1 in heat number 2, because that'll give James Pearson some real confidence, and to beat Jason Edwards, who's was a massive disappointment on Wednesday, I thought, because he's had a fantastic season so far. really has made a lot of progress.
But we forget, I mean, he's not been doing it for long, so he's going to have ups and downs a little bit, I guess.
Oh yeah, without doubt. That will, for page 7, that will really give him a big boost of confidence. Paco Castagna, was obviously very good to see him back at Peterborough, and I think he contributed 9-1 from his 10 rides.
He was good value for that.
Yeah.
For those
Klaus
points.
Bissing, I thought, after a slow start, 2 heat wins, that will,
definitely his best performance of the season.
Yeah, I think there's positives in. You look down at the Birmingham scorecard. You've got Klaus Bissing 7, Stefan Nielsen 7. Josh Shorty obviously was out, of course, injured. Of course, he's maybe not going to be too far away from being fit, we're being told. But Paco Castagna 9-1, Ashley Morris 8 and 2, Justin Tedgeman 10, James Shanes 5-1, James Pearson 4 and 3. That's a very, very good, solid 1 to 7 performance.
I thought it was moving Seji to 5 made the team a lot more balanced.
Yeah,
I think that helped, and he's done well since he's come back for us. I mean, I know he didn't do great. Nobody did great at Leicester, and possibly we won't talk about that. Other than James Pearson got a really good win
on a difficult track.
Difficult track, yeah. I mean, by all accounts, the track was not great, and possibly contributed to the fact that we didn't do very well. But then it's the same for both sides. They just needed to gate, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, it was a very cheery win. I thought the crowd levels remained the same.
Yeah,
largely.
I think the last 2 weeks the crowds have been higher. I don't think they're anywhere near the
what
levels
we need.
that the club need, but it's a step in the right direction. And if they can continue this good run of home form, then hopefully that might convince a few people to maybe give it another chance.
Yeah, I mean, good matches helped as well.
Yeah, the last 2 matches have been very good.
Yeah, but of course, Glasgow's the next visitors.
That's going to be a tough one.
That's a strong team, but exactly the same thing we said against Redcar, and so confidence should be high. Be high.
I think the most important thing really for this season, really for Birmingham, is just to try and put some solid foundations in and just get to the end of the season, and hopefully regroup. And we keep our fingers crossed that the club come back to the tapes in 2023. Things will happen that will make that a possibility. But I think this season really is just getting through it. I think it's been last season. I think a lot of things went on at the club that were, didn't do it any favours.
No, not at all.
Certainly in terms of publicity, there was a lot of bad publicity surrounding the club.
Some of it deserved, but there were reasons for all of them, of course. But yeah. Shall we? Before we talk about Wolverhampton's win, and we can get a smile on your face and all feel sick. Shall we have a look at some of the comments?
Why not?
Do you want to read us a few?
Okay, so Craig Smith says, how long should it take to repair an air fence? Honest question.
I guess what I mean is not repair the actual, but replace an air fence, a section of air fence. Having done that, it could take up to 20 to 30 minutes. It's not. You've got to get it in place. It's quite a fiddly thing, but I mean, I didn't watch the Sheffield meeting.
No, I've not seen any of it, unfortunately.
So somebody out there can actually tell us how long did it actually take to repair the air fence?
I think I've read somewhere it was about 40 minutes.
That seems quite a lot.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Especially when you've got a group of people standing on their terraces waiting to see what's going to happen. So
yeah. It's unfortunate, and it's this business of Speedway, as we all know, shooting itself firmly in the foot.
Yeah.
Again?
And missing.
Paul Stark signs for Oxford. Newman released, says Simon Corbett.
Yeah. Carl Newman, I think, has gone due to personal reasons. I think so. We wish Carl obviously all the best. But I think that's a good move for Oxford. I've got a big fan of Paul Stark. I think he's a terrific rider.
Particularly at this level.
Yeah.
Sure. Any more?
Evening Taverners looking good on YouTube. Chris especially. Chaps, some good racing at Sheffield last night, even though we didn't get anything.
I think I need to change my glasses because I can't see that.
No, but yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. I heard that the racing was good at Sheffield. And
I've heard so, yeah. I've seen a couple of clips on Twitter. A terrific race with Jason Doyle. I can't remember who it was, but Jason Doyle on the last bend, almost coming to the line and nipping through and getting the win on the outside on the line. So from what the bits I've seen of it, it looks like there was some pretty good racing, which is just adds to the frustration I think in that wins.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's a great track. I mean, we've mentioned this before.
Like Sheffield.
It's a good racing track.
Welcome back to Laurence Rogers. Where has he been? He's been using an excuse of doing something at the track, hasn't he? Every week. Poor excuse. Welcome back, Laurence.
He says I can actually listen in tonight, as not at the track, getting ready for a meeting. I'd like to big up Laurence Rogers.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
He's always at that track. He's always doing something. He's always doing it for free of charge. This club, Birmingham, would not survive without Laurence Rogers and the work he's put in. So there you go.
Most definitely.
There's a long one here. Would you like to give it a go, or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do that one because I'm still sharing this.
From Robert Greenwood. Excuse me. I'm just getting ready for this one. Evening, guys. Lots of people have a good moan and chipping in at the track staff last night. It was a very long night for us in the stadium, but fair's fair. There were a lot of guys trying their best to repair the air fence, and as the air pipe was always also damaged, I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute for people that don't know what that is, was also damaged. This made the job longer. Just unfortunate this was on TV. It was some great racing overall, but to have people coming out saying Sheffield promoters and club were not professional is a joke. What should these guys have done? A bodged job and let a rider get very seriously injured, or take time to get it right? Danny was okay after, which was more important. Doyle was class for the visitors, so come on, let's talk positive instead of negative. A curfew is in place by the local council, not Sheffield Speedway. Okay, so as I said, I didn't watch the meeting, so I'm only going on other people's comments, but so the pipe that he's talking about, there is a pipe that connects one part of the air fence to the other part of the air fence, and then there's a pipe at the other side which connects that part of the air fence you're replacing to the next part of the air fence, so the air flows through all of it. It's a bit of a fiddly job getting it in and sorting it out, and you have to get down and dirty to do it.
Says a man with experience, I think.
Yes, I've been there, done that. If it's damaged, it ain't easy.
Yeah.
To replace the thing, there's all sorts of clips and things that have to be sort of put around, like big massive going on the ones at Birmingham anyway, big massive circlips that have to be fitted and found and put in, and so. You know, if it is 40 minutes, it's only 10 minutes longer than what I said would be a reasonable time. So, yeah, I mean, I take all of his points, and as he said, the racing was great. I don't know what the coverage made of it. That's the important thing.
I think Ipswich will probably feel very aggrieved, won't they, because of the fact that they didn't get to the end and they were only 8 points behind. And with Jason Doyle in the last lead, I think Ipswich would have really fancied the chances of at least getting a point out of that. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing that Speedway operates under because of the noise thing. We have the same thing at Birmingham. We have a 10 o'clock curfew. I think is it Kent that has to start at 7 o'clock and not 7:30 because their curfew is actually 9:30, is it, or something like that? So it's an early. Yeah, I mean those things that are imposed upon us and we can't do anything about, unfortunately. And if you want that Speedway to continue, you just have to operate under those circumstances. Mm-hmm. There's no choice. But I did hear that. I need to watch this match. I did hear that Jason Doyle was absolute class.
Yeah,
it's good to see him
back in the league.
Back in the league. And we will talk a little bit about the GPs as well.
Yeah, plenty to get into in that. So.
Which again, I didn't say because I ended up having to go. Big story, me having to go to London. But I'm not going to tell you about that. You'll be happy to know. So Elliot Hunt says a great win for Brummies last Wednesday. Super evening with lots of close racing. Just hope we can get the crowds up soon. Myself and Ruth are going to a Coventry Blaze social event on Saturday the 8th.
Ice hockey?
Yep. We are going to give some leaflets out, hopefully, to increase crowds. I wonder if we could get get Brummie Bear down to that. That would be... Laurence, over to you. Jeff Daniel says, reading Damien Bates' explanation of airfare incident last night, it seems they were extraordinary circumstances and the criticism was unfair. I do think Eurosport could have shown the Wolves meeting while the delay was going on. It seemed a better racing track at Wolves than the previous week against Bellevue. Were they at Wolves?
Yeah, because they do show clips from the other meeting.
Oh, I see. Right,
of course they do. That's a fair point.
That is a fair
Maybe
point.
They could have, whilst they were waiting, they could have shown some heats from the other track.
Am I right in saying they just cut it at the end as well? They just had enough.
Probably had enough. They probably had enough, to be fair. So
they cut the tennis, didn't they, or something?
Yeah, I mean this is a bit of a frustrating thing, and it was always a frustrating thing with Sky as well. Is the fact that they start the coverage at exactly the same time as the advertised start at the meeting.
Yeah.
So you've got everybody's sort of coming into the stadium for a 7:30 start, and then you've got to wait around for about 20 minutes while they do all the introductions and tell you who's riding, and then maybe do some stuff from the other tracks that have got meetings and things like that. So that's my old analogy of saying that when you're at a meeting, you sort of be like a TV extra, except you've paid for the privilege.
So.
I totally agree with that. Do you want to read Craig Smee's?
Craig says 350 people at Brum, as reported. It doesn't look good. Hoping crowds improve. Seems track's much better than last season, and the ones staying away are missing some good racing, so I believe.
The last two crowds have been higher than 350, but
I thought
but certainly not high enough to...
I mean, they have been higher than 350. Yeah. But I know that because I stood on the track and counted everybody, and it's the fact that I could do that.
That's probably not as good as
Birmingham promoted at Redditch FC on Saturday with a bike giving out flyers and spoke to football fans to get them coming to meetings. Hopefully that will help us increase crowds. Robert Greenwood said it was 45 minutes to repair. It's actually replace is what they do. They don't repair.
Yeah.
Those things have to go be to a place to be repaired for us, and it costs money each time.
Yeah, it's not like putting a bit. It's not like putting a bit or something on a tyre that's burst, is it? So
yeah. Laurence Rogers says the track is superb. Now, I actually had a word with Priesty after the meeting, and I did make the comment to him that I think it's the best I've seen the track since our Premier League days. So,
do you mean old Premier League? Or from the top league?
From Elite League days.
Oh, okay.
I've got used to saying Premiership now, so that's
I thought it was just to pull you up on that again.
It only took me 2, 3, 4 years. I don't
know. Craig's insinuating that there were only 2 people doing any work. Most were just watching.
That might be what it looks like. That might be what it's.
If there's only a small piece of space to work in, then it's
people are saying, are giving instructions. The pipes there. You got to move. Also, there's tools being passed backward and forward, and 2 people repairing an air fence is probably as much as.
I suppose it's the same like when you're going up a road that's got got roadworks. There's always like 20 of them doing nothing. Yeah, but they're actually doing something. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, we're digressing here, but I do know that there was lots of roadworks going on not so long back now on Spaghetti, and people were moaning that so many lanes were closed and there was nobody on the roads doing anything.
Yeah.
It's because they were all working underneath. It was what they was doing. Laurence says, thanks, lads. You're welcome, mate.
That's right.
Andrew Garner. Well, there's a lot on this thing tonight. I love it.
Yeah. Busy.
Keep going.
He's busy. The guys who run the Team GB should run all Speedway in this country and get rid of the current crop who tried to run it. Nearly spelt crop wrong. Ha.
Oh dear.
No, I think
the guys who run the Team GB. Does he mean the guys that got us the World Cup for the first time? For how many years? Yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to say any more, do I?
No.
I don't agree. I guess, unless he's taught. Is that what? I can't believe that's what he means.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously the national team setup has obviously become a lot more professional, I think, over the last couple of years, and obviously culminated in winning the Speedway Nations last year. So.
Yeah, well, there you go. Laurence Rogers says, well done, Sedgy last night, 10+3 for Sheffield. One of the reasons why I want to watch that match.
Yeah.
He's started really well. There was a few things that going back to the Birmingham Red Car match, there was a few things that we proved some doubters wrong on. The two things in particular was that Klaus Wissing, and him as well. Yeah. Both of them, Klaus and his brother, can ride and get points at number one. Then he's not an out-and-out number one. He's never going to be an out-and-out number one.
It does help when he doesn't nearly strangle himself on the tapes.
Exactly. and he looked good for his points.
Yeah.
2 wins. And the way the team is built is to be, as those scores show, that's the first time I think that the team has performed in the way that it was designed to, which is everybody contributing.
Yes.
So that, and also I'm going to take copyright on the name Sedgehammer, by the way, because I was the first one
to come up with that.
To come up with that on this very programme in 2010, I think it was. Excuse me. So Sedgy proved he's not a gating tart.
Yeah, it was a great race, wasn't it? That was with the
So there's a few things that, because that's been one of the criticisms of him.
Yeah.
And I think that happens when you are good at gating and go away from people.
I think it's been fair in that sense, because there's been quite a few since he's come back, certainly in the early few meetings, if he missed the gate, then he
didn't appear to be anywhere, but I mean, he's
not through lack of effort, of course.
No,
but
he's put that to bed, I think.
Going back to curfews, Kent used to start at 6:30 as the curfew was 8:30, says Ben Clifton.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, that's a horrible curfew, isn't it? Although if you can tell your audience that you're going to be finished by 8:30, you've got more chance of getting the kids along.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and this comment can be attributed to...
And I do think that more Speedway matches should have a target time of when the match is finished.
It shouldn't be impossible to get a meeting completed in 100 minutes, I don't think.
And that should be advertised so because you're trying to introduce youngsters to this sport on tracks that run midweek.
Yeah.
So if you advertise that the match should be over unless there are problems like crashes and stuff by 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's doable easily, isn't it?
It's been done at Birmingham this year, definitely, and at Wolves.
I mean, Birmingham do well at getting through the
Birmingham do have a curfew, to be fair, so they have to sort of abide by that. Wolves obviously have a voluntary curfew, but it's not been unknown for Wolves to go over it. So.
No, so maybe that's something that they should think about advertising. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Laurence Rogers said he hopes more people come back who otherwise stayed away because of the track last season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, results like the last two will help with that. They've got to, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've got to. Robert Greenwood's very impressed by Daniel Hume last night. Keep these rising stars coming. We need them in the sport. Well, of course, Daniel Hume is somebody who we know very well at Birmingham. I rate him highly. He's a nice lad as well.
Yeah, lovely lad, Daniel. I've got a lot of time for Daniel as a person.
Yeah. How nice is it to have 3 GP riders all competing at the top level and winning races? Not inconceivable we could have 3 top 10 riders this year.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the Grand Prix actually, because there was quite a bit to sort of chew on over that. In difficult conditions, it was actually a pretty good meeting, I thought. It was certainly better than the previous two. And it was a good day, obviously, for the home team. Obviously, the top three riders all obviously raced for Gorsov, so that was good for them as well. Anders Thompson was brilliant, really good ride in the final, considering that he wasn't fit. I mean, he obviously had that crash.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the result. I thought, well, no, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but no, really rode well, and that will give him a huge amount of encouragement. But for me, the biggest positive from our perspective as a British was the performance of Dan Bewley.
Yeah.
Fastest qualifying time, rode really well in the meeting. I think was shade unlucky not to get into the final. To be fair, doing really well. That was his best performance of the season. Robert Lambert's been excellent as well. Ty Woofenden not so good, and there was actually a moment during the meeting where Daniel Hume,
well, he's gone up in the world
Dan
since.
Bewley, produced a brilliant ride round the bends to go past Ty Woofenden, and there's a few people I've seen on social media suggesting that maybe a changing of the guard, and with Woofenden.
As a huge Ty Woofenden fan,
I'm a big Ty
Woofenden
fan, but you just sense that maybe he's past his peak and he's sort of on the other side of the hill now.
Why is that? Because he's fit enough? Is it a mental thing?
I don't know. Some part of me wonders whether maybe he's taken his eye off the ball a little bit, to be honest.
He feels that way a little bit.
Yeah, he was always somebody who was always really big on getting himself mentally prepared for a Grand Prix. He was always very, very quick as well. When he won those 3 World Championships, he was probably the quickest rider in the field. But he looks slow now. In fairness, he's poor at the start. And when he's chasing, he just you just don't feel the confidence that he's going to pass anybody now like he used to be able to. I think he's got a lot of other things going on in his life now. Obviously, he's got a young family. He's into his jet skiing and he's jumping out of airplanes with a parachute.
I hope he's with a parachute.
Yeah.
So
it's always recommended.
It is. Yeah. So it's not inconceivable, as Ben says there, that we could have 3 British riders in.
And let's just
qualifying for the next.
Let's just pick that through, particularly with Ty Woofenden, which is. He's still performing at quite a high level for him to get top 10.
Oh yeah,
in the world. So it's all relative, isn't it?
I don't think there's any chance of him missing out on sort of being top 10, but maybe winning the top prize. It's over. It's got to be coming on to 2-3 years since he last won a GP. I don't think he's won one since he won his last World Championship, and that was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one other thing I wanted to touch on as well was, of course, Freddie Lingard has made the decision to sort of take a break from Speedway. Still suffering the effects of his, long COVID that he struggled with. He's having difficulty with his breathing and
that's not good.
In there. So we send our best wishes to Freddie. So he's taken a short break from the sport, but. I've no doubt he'll be back in time for the next GP at Cardiff.
I hope so.
Yep.
He's been a good servant to British Speedway, hasn't he, over the years. Laurence Rogers says Brummy Bear was also at Redditch FC Saturday, along with volunteers Aaron Butcher with his bike and Tracy handing out leaflets and talking to the football fans. Yeah, I mean, it's a numbers game. The more people that you talk to, the more people you try to get interested, the more chance you might. If you get 1 out of every 10 that you talk, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
Can you go back down again? Because there was I just realised there was a comment. Yeah. Eric Parsons says, "Why are the crowds not turning up for Birmingham meetings? Do you think?" Well, that is the $64 million
if people
question.
Knew, I think
can't that be attributed to a lot of clubs,
yeah.
a lot of clubs as well? Like, must be feeling the pinch as well.
Yeah, but so I put it down to the rubbish that happened at the track after the COVID thing, and the problems, and it just didn't feel a nice place to be. I put it down to the price of cost of living going up, and of course that is not helping at the moment.
Absolutely not.
People are picking and choosing now.
Yeah, I haven't been to. Well, I think I've been to one away meeting this year, and that was Leicester, and that was
an ordeal.
That wasn't, So and also, the fact that we keep coming up against this. Oh, we might be closing, we might not be. That doesn't help. It doesn't create a feel good feeling. So there's lots and lots and lots of things.
I don't think the problems getting to the stadium have helped either.
No,
although hopefully some point in the near future that will be sorted. But because it is getting better, although it's still not perfect.
And I read a couple of comments on different forums saying that Birmingham season's over, and talk like that doesn't help. And Birmingham season is not over. First of all, even if we wasn't going to go for any wins in any trophies or whatever, we're having some really good racing and really good entertaining meetings at Birmingham. It's really worth watching.
It's worth pointing out as well, Birmingham aren't adrift at the foot of the table. I think they're only a point behind Beric. So
with performances like we've just had, if we can continue.
What are the crowds like at Wolverhampton?
Good. Well, crowds at Wolves have been very good.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, would you say they were up on last season, or
about the same? I think they've gone up since COVID.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they've gone up since COVID. Obviously, we had the problems at the start of last year with the fact that we could only get about 600 people into the stadium, which of course.
And the other reason why Birmingham's season isn't over is because we've got another trophy to go for with this, which is this summer trophy. And now we're putting in performances. Who knows? Probably not going to win it, but I bet you will be in it for a bit longer.
So the knockout cup. So.
Yeah. Oh God.
Andrew Garner says, sorry guys, that's exactly what I meant. The team behind the team.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think he's spot on.
So Elliot Hunt says the new averages are coming in from July the 1st, with Auty moving to number 1. Okay. Vissing dropping down to 3 or 5 as now third in averages. Sedgman is now second in the averages, which is, I mean, it says a lot that Josh Auty has not.
He's gone
to number one.
I'll let you say your catchphrase.
Only in Speedway. I'm not sure whether that might be better for Klaus, of course. Klaus, I don't know how you pronounce that.
Santa?
Yeah, it's going to make it interesting. Obviously, we can have a good guest at number 1. That can only go to his average, which is 7 point something. So, and then he comes back and we say, well done, mate, and your reward for having a broken leg and being out of Speedway is you're going to ride at number 1. Well, the tickets for the GP Challenge at Glasgow went on sale last week, says Craig Smee. Is anybody planning on going? I'm going for the first time to Glasgow and really looking forward to it. Should be a cracking meeting with world-class riders on show, all for the same price, £22 as a grandstand ticket at Bellevue.
That's not a bad price, is it, I suppose?
No. Robert Greenwood says he'd like to wish Jake Allen a speedy recovery with his broken wrist. Was supposed to make his home debut for Sheffield last night. But what a replacement in Sedgy. Yeah, absolutely. There was another thing about the tapes incident, but we'll just go back. We won't do that. We'll just do this one, just so I wanted them to know that I'd read it. It was and acknowledge the fact. There was a tapes incident in last night's Sheffield match where the tapes went up uneven. It was replayed on TV and commented on by Tatum, but the heat stood as 3-3. Daniel Hume had to duck to get away. Only in Speedway.
Yeah, you'd like to think that the referee would be watching that, to be honest, to see that the tape's on.
See, I think he's also going to be looking at our riders moving. Did somebody get it? Yeah, there's a lot going on at that start.
Possibly you could argue you could have two referees, really. One.
I've argued this before, as you know, and we'll come back to it. But yeah, also, I mean, the referees are usually side on to the track, to the tapes. Are they actually going to be able to see that with any great degree?
Well, I mean, Wolves in particular is an issue because it's not directly in line with the tapes. It's about, say the start line's where you are, the referee's probably about where Chris is, so it's not ideal. Certainly not for when there's an on-the-line decision that you've got to decide, because I think he has to. I think he has to get one of the flag marshals to tell him who,
right,
or just make his own judgment, which sometimes isn't always right.
Which is why there should be a second referee on the track, because there was a lot of talk about the. I can't remember who it was now. Who did we ride against before Redcar? And you was Plymouth, that's it. And you was concerned about that result.
Yeah.
That you didn't think whoever it was, I can't remember. Was it
Hans Hansen and Stefan Nielsen? Yeah.
Yeah. How is the referee supposed to make that decision from where he is? He's got to do what he thinks has happened. He's got to use experience.
I don't know whether he can even have a second look, to be honest, because I don't know whether he's got access to the.
I'm sure that they're not allowed to. I'm sure I've heard that before. So, which is weird. So, you know, I mean, I couldn't tell from where I was. I was like, this could go either way.
Yeah. You've got to be in the right place really to see it, haven't you?
But if there's a trainee referee maybe on the track, looking at that, and then the referee can give them and say, well, you know, I think this happened. Is that what you saw from where you was? And so he's not making a decision. He's just advising what he saw.
It's a bit like the third umpiring in cricket, isn't it, really?
So, but of course you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
But if it's a trainee referee, maybe you don't. Anthony Bailey says Birmingham's meetings are very slick this season.
Yeah, they run very well, aren't they, at the moment, Birmingham, in terms of getting the meetings through. So.
Okay, and Robert Lambert now is the GB number one now.
I would say, yeah. I think he is.
Woffington's injuries might be catching up on him. He doesn't look in tip-top condition like previous seasons to me. Seems on edge as well and not relaxed and focused as he used to be. That's all fair comment.
I think so, yeah.
And the tickets for the British Under-21 final at Birmingham on August the 31st have gone on sale on Try Booking.
Yeah, I want to just point on to that comment there from Rich Thomas, because I had seen this last week that Swindon fans were actually going to be gathering at Blunsdon to try and get some answers as to what's happening down there, because the building work has stopped again. So, in fact, I've got the.
Oh, I did see that on Facebook.
I've got the article here from in the Swindon Advertiser. I think Speedway fans fearing for the future of the sport in the town are demanding answers from the owners of the Abbey Stadium. A group gathered outside the decaying and partly developed racetrack in Blunsdon and claim work on a promised new facility has stalled. It is more than 2 years since council planners gave final approval for the £5 million redevelopment of the site after the lengthy process of which concerns over noise were dealt with. It promised to give a new lease of life to a sport which has become part of Swindon's fabric since the club was formed in 1949. Work started in September last year, with this summer mentioned as a completion date, but the new stand is still in pieces outside the stadium and only part of it has been worked on so far.
Yeah,
I'm getting vibes of what happened at Reading with Swindon, I must admit.
Yeah, you mentioned this last week, and it's
Swindon, as Reading were promised, oh, don't worry, you'll get a new stadium. 14 years later, nothing.
No. Just going back to the Under-21, I did see the prices for sponsorship of various things like the riders and fuel, and they're pretty reasonable. So please take a look and see what you think.
Yeah.
So you're going to sponsor one then, Chris?
I think I might. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I might.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, the prices are pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I probably would.
Well,
Hey, that's the fuel.
It's methanol, not methane. No, wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Apparently the stands are in pieces ready to be built. It doesn't take long to erect a structure these days. The old Kirky Lane dog track has been demolished and they're throwing up 3 to 4 houses a week every time I pass it. Pass it. Wouldn't panic just yet at Swindon.
The only thing is, how long has this been going? This has been going on at least 10 years now. We had the first announcement that there was going to be at that time it was going to be a brand new stadium. And of course it eventually got sort of converted to being a redevelopment of what they've got now. And maybe the fact that being a Speedway fan for over 30 years is maybe rather cynical, but you just worry. And of course there's now doubts over Peterborough's future, with of course plans to redevelop the showground.
Yeah, that's another one that
I would be absolutely gutted if Peterborough went, because Peterborough is a fantastic racetrack.
One of the best tracks in the country.
Yeah, brilliant racetrack, brilliant place to watch Speedway as well, and hopefully something can be sorted out down at Peterborough.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
it's too depressing. It's not these talk of tracks. I mean, Glasgow's not Glasgow, Edinburgh's in a bit of a bind as well.
Yeah.
Laurence Rogers said the roadwork should be finished this week. We have been told. Clear down the A34 now. Hallelujah.
Yeah. I'd love to know whoever thought it was a good idea to get rid of that flyover, I must admit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. Probably Andy Strait, wasn't it? So, whoops. Getting political. So.
How dare you? Hope to see Cookie at Bellevue on Monday. We will be there as usual. Hope he is as well. Yeah. Can somebody tell me why Sheffield's curfew is in place, as I have looked online and there are no immediate houses near, just factories, etc. Nearest buildings, church and pub, or is it because of the people in the casino, which is right by the track? I don't know.
I mean, I was up there a few weeks ago, and there's no houses anywhere near the stadium. It's sort of like an industrial area or a commercial area, so it's a bit mystifying as to what. I mean, I think as far as I'm aware, it's the council that have inputted the curfew, not the club. So it's
it is the council. It is somebody mentioned that earlier. It is the council, same as at Birmingham.
I think times are creeping on,
at that,
and I think we probably need to go to our fixtures and maybe pop back to the comments, maybe.
Yep.
So we get into our predictions league.
Well, let's have a look at the table first.
Can I just put this one last thing, because it's quite Linda Buck.
I don't think it is Linda. It's another person.
It's
in my
another
family,
Buck.
to be fair.
It's another Buck
who's logged onto the wrong Facebook account.
Right.
Again.
But it said that anybody getting to Perry Bar by public transport should catch buzz numbers 907, 935, 936, 937 or 939, which give a 10-minute service to the stadium. So, yeah, anybody, that information's out there on the shout box, so there we go.
Okay.
For the first time in GPs this season, there is a photo finish like they have in horse racing. It's been shown a couple of times to get the correct result.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a lot of things with the GP. I mean, the one thing I do like is the whole shot thing that they're doing, which is obviously the time from the tapes go up to the time the riders get to the first bend. So you can see really who's
got the best start.
So this is what riders really will be looking at to see which part of their racing development they need to be working on.
Information is key. Right, we better do it, hadn't we?
Look at the league table, because this league table.
Can I just say thanks, guys, for all your comments and keeping them coming. It's actually what makes this show work. So,
and please stay with us as well. Those who are not playing the game, or just join in. It's only a bit of fun.
Just join in,
and we'll get back to the comments straight away after.
But this is getting mighty close now at the top.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh dear. I'm still at 17th.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So Simon Corbett's still at the top.
Just about.
117 points. Yeah. Steve Morgan's on 150.
Wow.
Andrew Garner is on 113. And then we've got Ben Clifton, who's creeping up at 111. And then we've got Matt Buck and Chris Brown on 110.
He's going to overtake you, and that's something that's going on.
But that is anybody's, isn't it, at the moment?
You only need something even right down to Dylan down in 12th. Get a couple of perfect results, and all of a sudden they're back in it. So I'd leave my case out. What do we propose to do if there is a tie at the end of it?
A tie?
Yeah.
Half a mug each.
What are you going to do? Breaking it off?
Half a t-shirt each. There we go.
We'll have to have a tiebreaker.
Yeah, tiebreaker. We'll have a special show quiz. We'll have a special quiz show.
Maybe we could get them both on video call if they.
Exactly, that'd be good. That'd be good fun. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
I'm sure we can do something.
Let's hope it happens now.
I was waiting for somebody to say a fight. Fight in your garage or something.
So
let's go with the
get the fixtures going.
Okay, I believe it's Chris's start this week, isn't it?
It's never good. Never good. Okay, so
the first meeting is
It's right at the top. It's just
Birmingham haven't got a meeting, which is sad because of the Newcastle thing. Hey ho. So, what's the first meeting then?
so it's Oxford versus Leicester Lions.
Oxford versus Leicester.
Okay, I'll go Leicester by 6.
I'm going to say Leicester by 8.
I've gone Leicester by 4.
So we're all in the same sort of ballpark there.
Yep.
And then we have Paul versus Beric. Interesting results at Paul last.
Yeah, they were very lucky to get a draw in the end, Paul.
So I understand it must have been a good meeting.
Yep. South Coast Derby. So.
But I can't see anything other than a Poole win, so I'm going to go Poole by 12.
I've gone Poole by 22 on this one.
I'll go Poole by 16.
Okay. Simon Corbett agrees with me. I might get one right.
I like Beats Club. They get them both to change an air fence panel. Fastest wins.
Well done.
I love that.
That's got to be the comment of the night.
Absolutely. Might be the comment of the season. Okay. Edinburgh versus Scunthorpe. That's down to you, Matt.
I've gone Edinburgh by 8 on this one.
Up me?
Yeah.
Edinburgh by 6.
Edinburgh by 10. And the next one will be Glasgow versus the Redcar Bears. And that's up to you, Chris.
I'll go Redcar by 4.
That's a big call.
What
I
are you
know, I've got, it's one of those shock ones.
What are you drinking? Glasgow by 8. Just because I don't want them to beat Redcar by more than we did.
I've got Glasgow by 14. So.
Okay.
Remember, you can't change it either. So.
Yeah, that's
right.
in there.
Okay.
Beric Bullets versus the Leicester
semi-final of the
Cubs.
Knockout Cup in the NDL. So Beric, who've had a good home record so far, against Leicester, second in the table. So, but I've gone for Beric to win by 20 on this one.
Okay, well, thank you for that. It's my go there.
That's all right.
I'm going to say Beric by 20 just to see if you change your mind there.
No.
I'll go Beric by 6.
Okay.
Okay,
And the second leg is on the Sunday at Leicester.
Okay, is that the next match?
Should be the
British
next one,
Youth Championships. We should have had a go at that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we might discuss that a bit later on, of course.
Okay. So it's Leicester Cubs. It's the other way around.
Yep.
And it's down to you.
I've gone for Leicester by 18, just to miss out by 2 points on getting through.
I'm going to say Leicester by 20.
I'll go Leicester by 12.
Because that would be
Yours sounds good because it means they're off, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That would be fun.
Next up, Scunthorpe against Edinburgh. Sunday.
Versus Edinburgh. Okay.
That's me, isn't it?
It is, yep.
I'll go Edinburgh by 8.
I'm going to say Scunthorpe by 4.
I've gone Scunthorpe by 8.
Okay, and Bellevue versus Sheffield.
What a meeting! This is on telly as well, so this will be
Is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I must watch that.
War of the Roses, Lancashire v Yorkshire's. Bellevue will want revenge, of course, because Sheffield have already been to.
It's
Bellevue,
different.
haven't they? So,
different Bellevue team now, isn't it?
yeah.
And it's up to me. I'm going to say Bellevue by 6. Up to you.
Yep, I've gone Bellevue by 6 as well.
I'll go Bellevue by 4.
That'll be a tight one, that will. There's been a lot of very tight meetings in the top league this season. So
Yeah, and some reverse meetings that you wouldn't think they would have gone that way, you know.
Yeah.
Talking of which, this could be one of them, Peterborough versus Kings Lynn. And that's up to you, Matt.
I've gone Peterborough by 4.
Chris?
I'll go Peterborough by 6.
Peterborough by 4. Okie dokie.
Wolves against Ipswich next. Ipswich, of course, have already won at Monmouth, so...
Yeah. Up to you, Chris.
I might go for a Wolves win there, but probably...
That's not like you.
Probably not. I'll go for Ipswich by 6.
Okay, I'm going to go diametrically opposite to that and say Wolves by 6.
I've gone Wolves by 4. But again, that'll be a tight one. Ipswich Ipswich have had a habit of keeping meetings close and then hitting teams hard in the last 8. So they've done it 3 or 4 times this season already. So
the Plymouth Centurions versus the Middleton Fen Tigers.
Okay, that's the last one. That of course will be on there. Of course, there's no meeting tonight. Of course, it was going to be Plymouth against Glasgow, but it's obviously fallen foul of the weather, unfortunately.
I'm going to say. Oh, that's tough, isn't it? I'm going to say Plymouth by 6.
I've got Mildenhall by 4 on that one.
Ooh, I'll go Mildenhall by 12.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
concludes.
It then. Well done. Got through this quite quickly.
Yep.
Good.
Well, not so many meetings this week, was there? But
I'll try and get back
and
to
I think Newcastle have the demise of Newcastle.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of things coming out about Newcastle at the moment, don't they? Obviously, probably best from a legal perspective not to dwell on them too much. But
right, well, we've got 6 minutes to go through before we finish the show. So let's see how many of these comments we can go through. Spuddy says, "Evening chaps, only just joined, been doing a Speedway challenge meeting. Hope it's been a great show. Interesting to see the new averages coming out. It was a great win for Wolves last night, but a bit worrying seeing the Blue Groove after heat 11 was so dry, went home eating dust."
I saw that before he's 11 Dylan, to be fair. So.
Does anybody know what's happening with Coventry, says John Moore?
Well, hopefully somebody does. Hopefully something. I mean, we're still waiting on the results of they're having a meeting, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we're still waiting on that.
I don't think it's. I think there's a date being set for. I think it might be about August, September, October time. So
Right.
it is, but it has been pushed back before. So
Yeah.
just hope that doesn't drag on too long.
Robert Greenwood said Swindon could end up the same situation as Bradford. Big promises, but no reality. And Swindon Stadium is owned by the same lot that shut Reading.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they do seem to have a bit of a track record.
Elliot Hunter's done rider sponsorship for Drew Kemp in the British Under-21 final.
Okay, yep.
That's not a bad
No.
shout, is it, Drew Kemp?
Maybe if I'd have thought about it, we could have had a list of the riders for that night and we could have had a little side bet. But there you go.
Spuddy's bemoaning the fact that he's had an absolute stinker in the predictions recently. You want to try living in my shoes?
Yeah. I think he was leading after the first week, though.
Wendy Jane Barrett, read the flyover. It was a Labour Council decision.
Yeah, thought it might be.
I'm just not getting into that.
Dylan's going on about if there's a tie break.
Superheat predictions. Well, there would have to be a superheat at that point for us. Otherwise, it would be all done in hindsight, wouldn't it?
Unless we toss a coin. So.
I've got. Well, that would be easiest, wouldn't it? I've got some ideas running around my head.
Yeah.
Interesting to see Oxford signing Paul Stark today. We've touched on that.
Good move.
We've got lots of predictions coming up.
Oh, we've done that one.
Spuddy said, "I might just start saying what Simon said, as he's the man in these."
Simon is under pressure at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, and he's put in a few strange ones tonight. So it could be. Mind you, I have as well.
Yes, couple of bold predictions by Chris here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm hoping that they'll see me right.
Oh, there's an interesting idea. Dave Twine says, "Did we not predict the winners of the leagues at the start of the season?
Ooh.
You could use this as a tiebreaker if you still have them
What about if they're
recorded."
the same teams? That's the only thing, sir.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to do a tie-break question or something like that.
My mistake, by the way, is Bellevue Sheffield is not on the telly, I don't think. So
No, I did wonder about that when you said it.
Yeah.
It should be.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a cracking meeting.
Yeah.
But Bellevue do their own stream anyway, don't they? So we can watch it.
It's frustrating that they don't do a meeting every single week. So
I know a way to settle any ties. Get the people involved to download Speedway Challenge and do 4 races. Winner after 4 takes the title.
yeah, I've got that on my phone. It's a good game.
What is it? Speedway Challenge.
Speedway Challenge.
Oh, thank you, Laurence. There we go.
Oh, here's the rider sponsorship. Laurence has put up. Rider 50 tyre £10. Methanol, £100 package. Tom Brennan, Ruth and Eve Gallett.
These are all the riders.
There's a
lot of riders there, but there's a couple of interesting ones there that you'd probably want to pick. Very good.
We'll have to have a look at that before the meeting and see if we can have a prediction. Now, there's a thought.
Yeah.
That could be the tiebreaker. Get everybody's prediction.
That's a great idea.
Now, there's a thought.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought of that one. That's a brilliant idea by me, that was. Well, thank you, everybody. I think we're about there.
Okay, so those are the riders for the under-21 and the sponsors so far. So, another great show. Thank you.
I was brilliant. Well,
for you, yes.
Masters the art of twiddling knobs, doesn't he?
He's always been a good twiddler. He's been in trouble for it before. From a Wolves side, I'm glad the new averages put Steve into the top 4 of the averages, gives us plenty more options for the pairs now, and I think that is my cue to say good night. Thank you again, and hope you all have a great week and your teams do well. See you soon.
Good night.